Okay, everyone, welcome back to week 3 of beginning Anishinaabemowin, the Ojibwe series. So last week, we talked about imperatives, so words that tell someone what to do or commands. So we're going to go over these quickly. So come in. So bin, de, gen, bin de, bin again, bin again. And it's an exclamation mark, so you want to shout it. Bin again. So I hope that once I say something, you're repeating it at home. So bin again. Okay, sit down. Nama, namadabin, namadabin, namadabin. Sit down. Okay, stand up. Nibawin, nibawin, nibawin. Okay, come here. Bijan, Bijan. So Bijan, come here. Bijan. Go away or leave. Majan, Majan, Majan. So build a fire. Bodawen, Bodawen, Bodawen. Build a fire. So go home. Giwen, Giwen, Giwen. Go home. So telling someone to sing. Naga, Nagamon, Nagamon, Nagamon. Go to sleep. So there's only one I, so it's not Niban, it's Neban, Neban. So Neban, Neban, go to sleep. Get up. Wanish Khan, Wanish Khan, Wanish Khan. So get up. All right, and then we played this little guessing game. And then we talked about plural imperatives. So words that tell more than one person what to do. You can watch last week's recording to hear the pronunciation for these, but I'm just going to go over a few. So stand up, so telling more than one person to stand up. Ni, ba, we, yok, yok. So yok is added to all the imperatives that we just learned. So if you add YOK, that means you're talking, you're telling more than one person what to do. So go home, giwe, yok, giwe yok. So all of you go home. Okay, and then we did this little game, and then we learned some more nouns. So I'm going to go over these quickly again. So what I would like you to do is go around your house, put a Post-it on your stove, put a Post-it on your chair or your table or your window with these words, so that every day you're using the language and you don't realize it. So table. So adopowin, adopowin. And there's also a Kahoot quiz for these nouns. So chair, apabewin, apabewin. So chair. So window. Wasechigan, wasechigan, wasechigan. Bed. Nebagan, nebagan, nebagan. Bed. So door. Ishkwan, ishkwandem. So ishkwandem, ishkwandem is door. House, wakaigan, wakaigan, house. Teepee, bajishka, bajishkaogan, bajishkaogan, bajishkaogan. Stove. So this is a G sound, so g. So, and it's a short I sound, so it's going to be a sound, like a IH sound. So ge, ja, beke, zegan. Beke zegan. Beke zegan. Beke zegan. Tent. Weg, wam. Tent. Okay, and then we have two words for airplane. So bemez, bemeze, bemezemagak. So that's airplane. And the other word that you might hear for airplane is omba, ombasin. Boat or canoe, jimon, and car, odaban, car. We also talked about VAI verbs, so introduction to intransitive verbs. So verbs that is a word that describes what an activity is, what a state is, and what the condition is. So for example, the word anoki means he or she is working. So it's a full sentence. And then we went over these intransitive verbs. So let's go over these quickly. So he or she is full. Debesani. He or she is sleeping. Neba. He or she is sick. Akoze. He or she is cooking. Jibakwe. He or she is singing. Nagamo. He or she is dancing. Nimi. He or she is building a fire. Bodawe. He or she is going home. Giwe. He or she is playing. Odamino. He or she is working. Anoki. He or she is angry. Nishka deze. So he or she is eating. Wisene. So then we talked about how you can ask what he or she is doing by the phrase anin, which we also use for hello or what. So anin and dudang. And it's a question. So you want to say it anin and dudang. So what is he or she doing? So the N word there, duda, is means to do something. So that's where that phrase comes from. So now we can ask questions such as, is Mary going home? So what is the word for going home? Giwe. So giwe na. So na is a phrase. So it could be spelled na or ina. Ena. So I-N-A, but in this case it's just na. So adding na after giwe and then Mary implies that it's a question. So na, if you see na in a phrase, that means it's a question. So is Mary going home? Giwe na Mary? And you can reply with either yes, eya, or no, gawin. So yes, Mary's going home. Eya, giwe, Mary. And now we're going to talk about how you would make a full sentences if it was a no answer. So you could just say gawin, but if you wanted to do the full sentence, we're going to talk about that in the next few slides. Okay, we also talked about locative noun ending. So it's either locative or locative. So how to locate where something is. So um, so it could have the ng on it. It could have the ang, eng, ong, or ing added to the end, and that's how you would know that that's a locative or locative ending. So that would mean that you were saying something is either at, in, on, to, or by the noun that we're saying. So adopowin, so that's table. Adopowining would mean on the table. Zagaigan, which is the word for lake. Zagaiganing, so that would mean you are at, on, or in the lake. And then we talked about how you can ask questions such as, where is the rabbit? So ande is where, ande. So ande wabus, ande wabus. So where's the rabbit? Or ande mokoman, ande mokoman. Where's the knife? So then we talked about the locative endings with the nouns that we learned. You can look all of these up on the Ojibwe dictionary. I did not make up these endings myself. You can look them up and they'll tell you. If you scroll down, it'll say LOC, locative ending, and it'll have the proper ending that you would use for that particular noun. So on de wabus, on the chair. So where's the rabbit? Abapi winning. Abapi winning. The rabbit is on the chair. So we talked about that last week. We had some new vocabulary last week. So you can watch the video from last week on the pronunciation on these. And then I went through these dialogues. So again, if you have time to read these with a family or a friend, taking turns going back and forth, that would be great. Awesome practice for you guys to do. And then we had a quick discussion about the months and the days of the week. So you can watch this video, which we did last week. You can watch it again if you feel like you need to. I think that she explains it pretty well. So I'm not going to go, it's a 20-minute video that we watched last week, so I'm not going to go too much in depth on that. All right, so for this week, so what we're learning this week is introduction to person. So personal pronouns. So Anishinaabemowin is a language focused on describing the world and the action that takes place in it. To use the verbs, you need to know the pronouns. These are the basic ingredients of speech. A root verb is a root verb and words to show who is doing whatever you are describing. It is important to learn the 7 pronouns and how they are used. So there are 7 pronouns, so first to 7th person. However, for this particular lesson and this beginning series, the only ones we're going to be focusing on is first, second, and third person. So first person, so you're talking about I, me, or my. What you would add in front of the verb would be neen, neen. So you might see it written as N-I-I-N, you might see it written as N-I-N, or you might see it written as N apostrophe. It could be any of those, but it's all means the same thing. So you're talking in the first person. Neen or nin or anything like that would mean you're talking about I, me, or my. Second person, so you or your. So what you would say is geen, geen. So you might also see in some dialects they say keen, keen. So they mean the same thing, just different dialects. And then if you see it written as a G apostrophe, it's also just means geen. So same thing, just written differently for different words. Third person, so you're talking about he, she, or they. So you would say ween, ween. And he, she, or they doesn't have a contraction. The fourth person, so us and we exclusive. So you're talking about everyone in the room except the person you're talking to. So you'd say ninwe, ninwe, ninwe. So fifth person, so us, so inclusive, us inclusive. So you're talking about everyone in the room. So it'd be ginwe, ginwe. Sixth person, so you're talking about all of you. So ginwa, ginwa. And then seventh person, all of them. Weenwa, weenwa. Okay, so personal pronouns. So I'm going to read these and then I want you to say out loud, basically fill in the blanks. So I or me or my first person is called neen, neen. So you or your second person is called geen, geen. So he or she or him or her or they third person is called ween, ween. Okay, so locative or locative endings part 2. So how these endings work with personal pronouns. So a personal pronoun with a locative ending. So we have Gmon, which is our boat or canoe. So Gmoning, so in or on the boat, which we learned already. And now we're going to add our personal pronoun. So Nin Gma, Gmon, Nin Gmon, Nin Gmon. So that would mean my boat. And then once you add the locative ending, Nin Gmoning, Nin Gmoning. So you're on or in my boat. For nouns that end in long vowels, the first vowel of the locative suffix is deleted. So for the example, Anishinaabe, it ends in a long vowel. So in this case, instead of the ing, it's just g that is added. So Anishinaabeg, Anishinaabeg. Ikwe, woman. So it ends in an E, so it would be Ikweyeng, Ikweyeng. All right, so how do our VAI verbs that we learned work with personal pronouns? So the first time around when we learned this, it was he or she. So we were always saying in the third person, he or she is working, he or she is sick, he or she is dancing. So now we're gonna learn how we would say the words, I am full, you are full, he or she is full. So the first picture, he or I am full. So if I want to say I'm full in the first person, so as you can see, there's an N in brackets. So for this class, we're going to say ninde besene, ninde besene, but it's in brackets because you might hear some dialects where they don't pronounce the N. They might say inde besene, inde besene. So that's why that those brackets are there, but they mean the same thing. So ninde besene. So I am full. So if I want to say you are full, so we're going to use the word geen for second person. So as you can see, it's shortened. So the full geen isn't added on. There's really no rules why this is, but if you look up these words in the dictionary and look, second person, it'll tell you this is how it's spelled. So I think it's basically just so it's easier to pronounce. That's why it's shortened. There's really no other reasoning behind it other than it's easier to say this way and gives off the same meaning. So gedebesene, gedebesene, gedebesene. So you are full. And then the third person, debesene, he or she is full. So first person, so for sleeping, so I am sleeping. So ne neba, ne neba, ne neba, ne neba. You are sleeping, ge neba, Geneba, geneba. And then neba, he or she is sleeping. If I want to say I am sick, so nindakos, nindakos. So as you can see, the third person that we learned, akose, for he or she is sick, the I was removed. There's also no reasoning why the I was removed other than to make the word easier to pronounce. So nindakos, nindakos. So I am sick. So if I want to say you are sick, gidakos. Oh, sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Gedakos, gedakos. And then akose, he or she is sick. So if I want to say I am cooking, ne je bakwe, ne je bakwe, ne je bakwe. So if I want to say you are cooking, je. So this is a more difficult one because we got our G's and our J's. So our G is g, g, and our J is j, j. So ge jabakwe, ge jabakwe, ge jabakwe. So you are cooking. And then he or she is cooking, jibakwe. So if I want to say I am singing, ne nagam, ne nagam, ne nagam, ne nagam. So I am singing. If I want to say you are singing, genagam, genagam, genagam. And then he or she is singing, nagamo. So if I want to say I am dancing, ne nim, ne nim, ne nim. If I want to say you are dancing, genim, genim. And then he or she is dancing, nime, nime. So if I want to say I am building a fire, so nebodawe, nebodawe, nebodawe. 2, you are building a fire, gebodawe, gebodawe. And then 3, third person, he or she is building a fire, bodawe. Okay, so if you want to say I am going home, so negiwe, negiwe, negiwe. So if you want to say you are going home, gegiwe, gegiwe, gegiwe. And then third person, he or she is going home, giwe, giwe. First person, first person, I am playing. So nindo, nindo. There's a double O there, so nindu damin, nindu damin, nindu damin, nindu damin, nindu damin. So I am playing. If you want to say you are playing, gedo, gedo damin, gedo damin, gedo damin, gedo damin. So you are playing. And then if he or she is playing, odamino, odamino. So if I want to say I am working, ninda, ninda no ki, ninda no ki, ninda no ki. If you want to say you are working, gedanoki, gedanoki, gedanoki. And then 3, he or she is working, anoki. So if you want to say I am angry, so nin, ninish, ninish kadis, ninish kadis, ninish kadis, ninish kadis. So I am angry. So if you want to say you are angry, genish, genish kadis, genish kadish, genish kadis. And then he or she is angry, nishka deze, nishka deze. The last one, so if I want to say I am eating, so newesin, newesin, newesin. If I want to say you are eating, gewisin, ge we sin. Or third person, he or she is eating, we sine. We sine. So you can see a lot of them have the last vowel taken off of a lot of them, and it's just to make pronunciation easier. Okay, so VAIs with personal pronouns, how to ask questions. So first you have to learn some phrases for asking questions. So the first one we learned already, which was anin and dudang. Anin and dudang. So what is he or she doing? You would reply, he or she is working. So you'd say anoki. Anin and dudang, anoki. He or she is working. So if you want to say, what are you doing? So you'd say anin and dodaman. Anin and dodaman. If you want to say, what am I doing? You'd say anin and dodaman. Anin and dodaman. And then I talked about how ina or na, ina, na, is implies that it's a yes or no question. So we're going to talk about this a little deeper on the next slide. So gida kos ina. Geda kos ina. So if we go back, so are you sick? So we look here. Second person, are you sick? So gedakos. Gedakos. That would be second person. So if you want to ask someone, are you sick? Gedakos ina. Gedakos ina. Are you sick? So if you want to reply with no, I am not sick. So we learned the word for no, which is gawin. Gawin. So I am not sick. So we're going to go back. We're going to look, I am not sick. That's first person. So nindakos. So we go back, we go gawin nindakos se. So anytime you give a negative answer, an S and a double I have to be added to the VAI verb. So introduction to negatives. So there's an activity on this. So basically you're going to be adding the SII when you write down your negative answers. So this only applies for no answers. If it's a yes answer, so for example, is Mary going home? So giwe na Mary, giwe na Mary. You can reply with either yes, eya, or no, gawin. So yes, Mary's going home. Eya giwe Mary. So if you want to say, is Jane singing? Nagamo na Jane. Nagamo na Jane. If you want to reply, yes, Jane is singing, you'd say, Eya nagamo Jane. Eya nagamo Jane. If you want to say no, you'd say gawin nagamo se Jane. So no, Jane is not singing. So the pattern is gawin plus the verb plus SII. And all negative answers follow this pattern. All right, so for the live sessions, we did this activity where the people got to guess what the pictures were in the proper pronoun. So I'm gonna let you guys guess. Hopefully you're guessing. So anin and dodaman. So what are you doing in the I or me first person? So you would add nin to the word nagamo for singing. So let's go back. So you'd say, for nagamo, the O was removed. So it's ninagam, ninagam. So you could say anin and dodaman, ninagam, ninagam. Maybe after class you guys can go through the slides and try to guess for yourself what the words are, and then next week I'll go over the answers. Let's do that. So you can download the slides and guess Write down either on the slides or on a piece of paper what you think the proper pronoun for these VAIs are. So there's this one. I want you to do first person, second person, and then third person. Okay, so now we're going to go over our new vocabulary. So personal pronouns, new vocab. So if you want to say, how about you? What you would say is gindash, but you might also hear gindashween, gindashween. So gindash, how about you? Gindashween, how about you? So an extra ween was added. It doesn't mean he or she. It just means that with the gindash in front of it, it actually just means how about you, but two different ways of saying it. So in different areas, you might hear gindash. In some other areas, you might hear gindashween. So, and you want to say it like a question. So gindashween. So how about you? This can also be shortened in other places to nindash or weendash. So it all means how about you? So if you want to say me too, so me too, genin. So genin. So the nin would be me. So genin. If you want to say you too, so the gin is you. So gegin. Gegin. If you want to say him or her too, gewin. Gewin. So if you want to say also and then a name, you'd say Gaye and then the name. So Gaye James, also James. Gaye. If you want to say not me, you'd say the word for no, which is Gawin. So not, no, not me. Gawinin, not me. Gawinin. If you want to say not you, Gawingin. Gawingin. If you want to say not him or her, gawin win. Gawin win. So if you want to say not somebody, so not Joan, gawin Joan. Gawin Joan. If you want to say yes, me, eyanin. Eyanin. If you want to say yes, you, eyagin. Eyagin. If you want to say yes, him and her, him or her, eyawin. Eyawin. If you want to say yes and then a name, Mary. Mary. If you want to say my turn, Ninitam. So my, nin, Ninitam. Ninitam. If you want to say your turn, Ginatam. Ginatam. If you want to say him or her turn, Weenatam. Weenatam. If you want to say somebody's turn, so in this case it's Jim. So Weenatam, so him or her, we're going to use Weenatam, Jim. Weenatam, Jim. So Jim's turn. So here are some useful phrases. So minawa, minawa. So that would mean again or end. So again, end. Minawa. So gaye, gaye. We talked about that. It could mean also or to. Gaye. So wiba, wiba. So that could mean hurry or quick. Wiba. So geyabe, geyabe, geyabe. So that would mean more or still. Aja, aja. So that could mean now, then, yet, or already. So aja, now, then, yet, already. So debwe, so really. So you're saying a statement, debwe. So really, it's the truth. So really, that's true. If you want to ask the question, really, so debwe na. So you add the na. So debwe na, really? Is that true, really? Babeje, babeje. So that means right away. Babeje, right away. Majesha, majesha, majesha. So that could be maybe or perhaps. Okay, so here's a dialogue. So you can go over this with a friend or a family member. I'm just going to go over it quickly for the pronunciation. So Henry, come here. So Henry, Bishan. Henry, Bishan. Henry, come here. So come and eat. Be wisenin. Be wisenin. Come and eat. So we've got the be from the Bijan, but it's not come here, it's come and eat. So be wisenin. So sit down, eat. Namadamin wisenin. Namadamin wisenin. So the word we learned for sit down, namadamin. So pass the fish, also potato, thank you. So bish, we learned that in week 1 that was the word for pass. So gego, gego, we learned in week 1 that was the word for fish. Gaye, we just learned that that's the word for also. Open, and we learned in week 1 that was the word for potato. So bish, gego, gaye, open, and it's an exclamation mark. So bish, gego, ge, open. Miigwech, thank you. Gayabe, gayabe, na, open. So gayabe, na, open. More potato. Gawin, aja, nin, debe, sene. Nin, debe, sene. Nin, debe, sene. So gawin, no. Aja, already. So no, I am already full. Gawin, aja, nindebe sene. Gawin, aja, nindebe sene. So practice that with either yourself taking turns back and forth, or a friend or a family member. So this is one of your assignments. So this is there's about 3 or 4, I think, assignments on one Microsoft Word document that you could do for this week. And this is one of them. So I'm just going to go over the pronunciation, and then next week I will give you the answers. So I want you to work on this and try to translate this dialogue into English, what you think it is, and then we're going to talk about it next week in the next video. I'll give you the answers. Okay? So Gedanoki na, gedanoki na, eya gindashwin, gawin nindakos, gegewe na bebeje, gegewe na bebeje, eya negiwe wiba, gawin nin, majisha geyabe nindanoki, gawin ni majisha geyabe nindanoki. All right. So now we're going to talk about the day before. So was nago, was nago, was nago. So that means the day before. So yesterday, ginagwa, ginagwa, yesterday. So today, nongwa, nongwa. And tomorrow, wabang, wabang. The day after, waswabang, waswabang. Okay, so now we're going to watch a video. So this is an introduction to time.
Aha, Ani Nanojo, there in Kabedish and Cosmope, Sioux College Donjanakibe. Welcome to the Sioux College's online Anishinaabe program. Today we are going to be talking about time. Time wasn't we didn't have the same concept of time as the Europeans did in terms of breaking the day down by hours. we did keep track of time, but it wasn't in the same methods. I'm going to be giving you some basic information about ordinals, I guess, in terms of your place in time. For example, today or now, it's sometimes referred to as now as well. Today is nangwa, today, now. Tomorrow is going to be wabang. The day after tomorrow is waswabang. Yesterday was jinagwa, and the day before was wasnago. So these are your ordinals. You're here, nangwa, jinagwa, wasnago. You're moving forward in time, wabang, waswabang. Okay? That concludes this section of the lesson on time, and we'll move on shortly to the next part. Continuing with the lesson on time, the Anishinaabe really didn't have a device that they would use to measure time, except for the tracking the movements of the sun through the sky. And we did divide the day into several different distinct parts. And typically that's what we would use to measure time, was just that division of the portions of the day. We're going to look at these phrases here: dawn, morning, noon, afternoon, evening, dusk, night, and midnight. And we're going to introduce you to those Anishinaabe words. Okay? Waseabin is dawn. Kijep means morning. Na kwe is noon. Shkwa na kwe is afternoon. The word shkwa means after. Na kshe refers to evening. Na kshe. Pungishmo, or sometimes they'll say epungishmo, means dusk. Epungishmuk is the western direction where the sun sets. Dusk. Dibik means night, and apta dibik means midnight. Apta, that word means half. So half night, midnight. Apta dibik, midnight. Once again, quickly. Waseabin, kijeb, na kwe, shkwa na kwe, na kshe, pungishamo, dibik, and aptadibik. Okay? That concludes this part. Be ready for the next one. There's just a little bit more to do. Today, in continuation of the unit on time, we're going to be talking about time, actual time, and how to tell time, or how to say the words in the Anishinaabe language when somebody asks you, what time is it? Anish en sadabaganet or Anish epichok are the two questions that you might hear. Anish en sadabaganet, Anish epichok. Okay, we're going to start with noon. As I go through the list, what I want you to keep in mind is that after each number, I'm going to say dabaganed. Okay? After each number is followed with dabaganed. So, for example, nakwe is noon. Okay, 12 noon, nakwe. Your first number after that is 1 o'clock. Ngo dabaganed. Ngo dabaganed is 1 o'clock. Nijo dabaganed is 2 o'clock. Nso dabaganed is 3 o'clock. Niwo dabaganed, 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock, no dabaganed. No dabaganed is 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, ngadaso dabaganed. 7 o'clock, nijwaso dabaganed. 8 o'clock is nijwaso dabaganed. 9 o'clock, jongso dabaganed. 10 o'clock, madaso dabaganed. 11 is Madaso Shibejik. Madaso Shibejik, the Buganet. And 12 is Madaso Shinish, the Buganet. Madaso Shinish, the Buganet. Also, Optadabik could be used from the previous lesson on parts of the day. And when we say the Buganet, we're making a reference to the turning of the hands inside the clock. So really, when you ask what time is it, or Anish and said the Buganet, you're asking how many turns is it? How many turns have gone by? When you want to say things like 4:30, for example, 4:30, you're going to say Niwo Sha Abta, or Niwo Shi Abta. You remember from our lesson, I think, on positive and negative statements, we talked about, or even with the earlier lesson on numbers, we talked about these two little words here, shi or sha, and how it means to add or and also. Abta means half. So whenever we talk about the Buganet, sha abta, we're talking about a half a turn, and half a turn on a clock is 30 minutes. So now, whenever you want to say 11:30, 10:30, 1:30, you're going to say, for example, 11:30, Madaso Shibejik Sha'abta the Buganet. Okay? Jongso the Buganet Sha'abta. You can interchange those two phrases. Nijoso the Buganet Sha'abta. 8 turns plus half, 8:30. Okay? And that concludes your lesson on telling time in Anishinaabe. Okay, good luck with that.
Okay, so I'm going to end the lesson there, but we're going to talk a lot more about time next week. And I want to go over the homework that you're going to have for this week. So the first one is the introductions to negative sheet. So you're going to do this activity and you're going to answer these in negative form only. Okay. And then we are going to be doing a few more activities. So the next worksheet is this one. So introduction to person. So you don't need to, you can put your notes on this. I've already taken the info from the slides and put them on here. Your new vocabulary is on here as well, your useful phrases. And then also there's reading practice for this week. So you can read these and then there'll be in the email attachments a recording. So you can listen to the pronunciation of these while reading them out loud and repeating them. And then there's also reading practice for our personal pronouns and our VAIs. So how to pronounce those. You can practice that. And then there's an activity here. So personal pronouns. So look up the words if you need to, or you can use the slides to answer these. And then there's more on negatives. So you're going to write the 12 VAIs that you learned, and then also the proper person. So similar to the activity you can do with the slides, in this case, you're going to do all 12 for each personal pronoun. So I want all 12 with the proper pronoun for first person, and then 12 of them written with second person, and then 12 of them written in the third person. Okay, and now this is another assignment. So you can either work with a partner and ask these questions, or you can do it yourself and take turns reading both ways to say either yes or give a yes answer or give a no answer. So I want you to translate the word. So in this case, in the example, gidakos ina. So I want you to write, are you sick, for up here in the English translation. And then I want you to give your answer. So you could say, gawin ninda koze. Gawin ninda koze. So no, I am not sick. So we added the SII for a negative answer. You can do either yes or no for these ones. And then these ones, I want you to only answer in negative form. Okay, so now here's the mini dialogue we went over on the slides. So you can practice that with a partner or friend or family member. And then here is the dialogue you will be translating to English. And next week I will give you the translation. Right here is where you can actually write a dialogue of your own. So you can do something similar to these dialogues that you see, and use the slides from previous weeks. Use the words that we've learned, and come up with something cool that you can practice with a friend. So this is another activity. So I want you to write all of these in Anishinaabemowin. So I'm sick. I want the proper Anishinaabemowin personal pronoun with VAI written there. And then these ones, write these pronouns in Anishinaabemowin. So we went over these on the slides. So you can just pull up that slide to do this activity. And then I want you to write these mini dialogues in Anishinaabemowin. So I want you to not translate them to English this time. I want you to translate these into Anishinaabemowin. And then I can read the answers next week as well. And you have 2 more down here. And yeah, that's about it. There's a lot of homework this week, but I figured I should, I threw a lot of info at you in the lesson. So I figure this is the best way for you to understand it better and spend some time really working on it. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Bamapi Gigawabaman. See you next week.